Um, so they ended up going down a lot in five hearts. Um, but we had like 17 and 6, I think it looks like. Yeah. And the way the bidding went, just we just had no, they just kind of preempted all over the place. So um, the right hand, I was sitting north, so West Open won no trump. I doubled because I had a big hand.
Yep.
um, and East went four hearts.
Yep.
And then West went four spades, and then East went five hearts. So, yep, we did, as I said, get them down, but um, you know, it doesn't
Yeah.
look like we actually had a game there. So, but it
My
was
opposition
still,
inexplicably went to 5 clubs in that one, so I doubled them. They went down quite badly. But,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I did wonder whether I
yeah,
should have doubled them, but I only had a
yeah.
singleton heart myself. So,
So
so
one of
what
the
do you reckon in that situation?
Yeah. So if I was just looking at the north south cards, ultimately, without pressure from the opponents, you'd probably want to get to four spades.
Hmm.
Now, there's a bad break, and four spades doesn't make on this hand.
Yeah,
Now, when the opponents bid lots and bid up to things like five hearts, if you think it's your hand, you probably want to double them. And you can't wait for just good trump holdings because there's a reason that they're bidding so much, right?
yeah.
So if they're bidding to the five level and you've got all the points, why are they possibly bidding? And that's just, they have a lot of that suit. Now, if you think it's probably your hand, you typically either want to double people or bid on. And
Yeah,
with the auction that's happened where they've bid a no trump and then four hearts, four spades, five hearts, there's no real way for you to bid anything. So I'd probably just double and hope that they go down.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So that obviously would have been the best result for us.
yeah.
So I'm not expecting that will have been one of our high scoring
Well, they still
things,
got
but
very, very high.
yeah,
So five hearts going down a bunch should be
mm,
reasonable.
yeah,
I
But
think, Linda, perhaps the harder bid for you would have been if it hadn't gone four spades, if it just gone four hearts, pass, pass.
yeah. That's right.
And then
me,
I still
yeah,
think it's still probably worth a double because a lot of the time in these situations, I think it implies like the double of four hearts probably implies shortage because they're like, the reason they've jumped, as Pete says, is because they've got a bunch of hearts. So your double is I've got values and I've got a shortage. Partner, do we want to compete or do we just want to play here?
Yeah,
Um, your partner's got a four triple three
yeah,
and the king of hearts, probably sitting in the right spot, but if not, it might come good. So, they'll pass and that they've got a trick for you.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so you said it went four spades because obviously they
yeah.
had mix up. They thought partner had spades.
Yes, I think they must. It must have been. They must have thought it was a a transfer
Yeah. Now
over the motor.
you've got to pass four spades because
Yeah,
you don't really want them. You want them to play in four spades.
exactly.
I think though now that you've seen they've had a mix up, bidding at the five levels the easiest type of bid because your partner so rarely is going to pull you from there, and you've got these nice sharp points.
Yeah,
And it's obviously definitely possible that they've got a void diamond or something terrible and you only score your ace king of clubs. But
yeah,
five hearts doubling making is well, yeah, it's pretty bad at match points. But you just have to close your eyes and do it.
yeah. Okay. Next time I will. But see, this is an example of where if our opponents have been bidding the same system as us, then they would never have opened one no trump.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it kind of just makes life that much more complicated when with intermediate players versus advanced people.
Yeah. The main thing you want to take away from it is if you think it's your hand, you don't want to let them play undoubled. So you either
Hmm.
want to bid on or you want to double. This
Okay.
doesn't seem like bidding on's the type of hand. Like,
Yep.
you know you've got the strongest hand at the table and some good shape. You've got a couple of aces and kings, so
Yep. Okay. All right. Next time, that's what I'll do. Thank you.
But the perfect hand, it wasn't great.
so this was board 3. Ina, where did you say you got to?
Or whatever, 6% or something. We just mucked it up. But, I really,
It ended up in 3 spades, Ina, for the
well,
opponent.
we let them
Let
play
them-
on 3 spades.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. So how would you, can you just share your thinking?
Yeah, I can go over how I'd bid this, but I'm curious how the opponents got to 3 spades. That's
We'll
looking
let
at this,
them.
I'm not sure how they got
Ours-
in there to mess you up.
Ours got to 4 spades,
Oh wow!
but there was a mistake. I think they misunderstood. Thought there was a transfer. I think, or something.
I have to be honest, Pete. I would open the south hand 2 spades if I was playing with you. I didn't get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually an interesting situation to talk about, because one of the things that you notice the higher level bridge you start to play is that your opponents will be more and more and more aggressive.
Yeah.
And they'll put more pressure on you, and you'll be in more tough spots, and that really is the sign of a high level bridge game. Is there's always pressure, and there's always risky bids being made, and they don't always work, but on this one it made your life hard.
Yeah. One of the key things there is the vulnerability as well. When you're not vulnerable, north-south being not vulnerable versus vulnerable, can get in and bid what cans like this and jam it up. If you switch to vulnerability, north-south should not be considering any bids whatsoever.
Yeah, there was a couple of good hands at the World Championships where almost the entire field was opening at the 2 or 3 level on a hand which only had a jack at first seat, and this is in the World Championships. So certainly the game of bridge is changing, and people are taking advantage of the favourable vulnerability in particular a lot more than the textbooks will tell you to.
So if the opponents didn't get in the way, I think this would be just like a standard auction that you'd have.
Yeah.
That seems normal.
So West wants to show 18-19 balanced. East wants to just, after they've checked for hearts, probably just settle there. Now, my guess is that they got in the way here.
Yeah, they did. Yep.
Over that, I think West can still bid 2 no trump.
Yep, I did.
And I presume North bid 3 spades.
Yes, and we left them there, and they didn't make it, but I think either one of us should have bid 3 no trump, but we didn't. Yeah,
Yeah. So I would say the onus here is on the East hand to do something. So here, West has shown 18-19 balanced. East knows sort of where they're trying to get to or not, but they've got this major concern here is that they've got a singleton spade and they don't have a fit in hearts. What should they actually do? West has sort of described their hand, and if partner wants to stay out of it over this sort of competition, they're like, well, it's pretty strong, but I've already conveyed that to my partner. So I understand West just letting 3 spades go. East, I reckon's got an awkward hand, but what you do know as East is you know your side's got enough points for game. And it might not be clear what you actually want to do over that, but when you know you've got enough points for game, you want to come up with an action that will at least put you in game. So the things that I would be weighing up just bidding 3 no trumps, or the other choice that I'd be looking at is double. You might also consider maybe just bidding 5 diamonds or something, because you should have a diamond fit in that spot. So they're sort of the 3 bids that I'd be looking at. Like, what are your thoughts between them?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things to consider in these spots is when the opponents have bid 3 spades, there's a pretty big chance that they're going to have a 9 card fit in spades. That's by far and away the most common thing. And so having your double here be penalties doesn't really make a lot of sense. Partner showed a stopper. Like you're not gonna have a penalty double of 3 spades very often, and also the opponents are favourable, so you don't really want to penalise them that often. So I think double is relatively clear here, and all double says is we've got enough points for game, partner. Do something sensible.
Right, yeah, just how aggressive would you be in each of the 2 suits?
Okay, so here probably go pass. I'd just start with 1 diamond, and South would double.
Yep.
West will probably pass.
Yep.
First question I'd have is, what would you bid with the north hand?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Responding to a double is a very common situation, but it's not very well talked about in literature or like teaching lessons. So it's always these competitive options that are ones that are trickier. The usual rule that I like to play is that bidding at the 1 level here, or bidding the cheapest suit at the 2 level, in this case would be 2 clubs, shows anything from 0 points, if you've got the worst possible hand, up to about 9 points. So for me, this would just be worth a 1 spade bid.
Now here with the east hand, they've got a nice 6-card suit. They've got 15 points. If partner had responded, I might have jumped to 3 diamonds on my second bid, but with
Yeah, I
partner
think I
not
would have. Yeah.
responding,
Yeah.
it basically lowers the levels you need to bid at. But I think bidding 2 diamonds would be
Yeah.
fine.
And now, like the corollary a little bit to the idea that when you bid 1 spade on these hands, your point count is 0 to 9. Almost always in bridge, you're right to hope partner hasn't got 0, because they almost never do. Just the probability and the way that the high card points distribute. On average, partner almost always has like 4 or 5. That's a minimum kind of thing. It's very rare they have 0. So in this situation, you give partner 5 or 6 points, you give them 4 spades, and that's enough for you to be able to make 2 spades. So you bid 2 spades. This idea of always giving partner some number of points is a really powerful one. If you think about this hand, East has got an opening hand and then maybe a bit extra because they bid again. So give them 14. You've got your 13, so that's 27. I like to have a rule that I divide up the remaining points between the other 2 people and say, so there's about 13 points left. Maybe call it a little bit less even with West because they passed it through the double, but there's roughly 13 points left. Partner's going to have about 6 or 7 points, and that ends up being pretty accurate a lot of the time. Like on this hand, partner's got a bit more than that, but a bad hand. So
West could consider bidding 3 diamonds here. I don't hate it. Like they've already passed over the double, and I've seen partner bid again, knowing that we could potentially have nothing and no fit.
I actually quite like 3 diamonds on this hand, and one of the reasons is that the opponents have got a spade fit. Almost certainly going to have an 8-card spade fit, and that means that your doubleton spade is going to have extra value. That you're going to be able, if they lead a spade, you can play another spade and then rough a spade, and that means your hand's worth kind of 2 tricks, which is good.
Yep.
Without the doubleton spade, it wouldn't be worth bidding, though.
And I would just pass that out.
Yep.
Interestingly, if East didn't bid, I wouldn't be bidding 2 spades with the south hand if East passed.
Yeah, it's close. I actually still would, I think, but I think it is close. Definitely right on the fringe. It depends on your style a bit. This is a bit of a partnership thing. I'm a bit worried here, just because I want to make the opponent's life difficult. If I do pass 1 spade, the opponents are probably going to be able to back in, and they're probably going to get into the auction again. And like maybe now West would make a double for takeout, just saying I'm still alive. I've got a few points. My hand could be worse. And now maybe the opponents do get to bid to 3 diamonds or something. On this hand, they probably won't. So you're probably going to be okay. But interestingly, by bidding 2 diamonds, East ends up getting their side to a higher level contract. Although on the hand, it probably does make 3 diamonds if you get to rough your spade.
Yeah. An important thing here is West only has 4 points. So why are we actually considering bidding? So often when responder has less than 6 points, they pass to say, partner, I don't have 6 points. But once you've done that and warned partner that you've got a bad hand, when your hand actually fits well with partner subsequently, you've actually got a lot of leeway to then bid. Like if partner's not trying to shy away from everything, but is said, okay, you've got less than 6 points, cool, but I'm still happy to be involved in the auction, then if they do that and then you feel like your hand's useful, you can still bid because we've already gone through and warned partner that our hand's bad. So if you got less than 6 points, you usually pass the first time, but that doesn't mean that you always have to stay silent if partner keeps the bidding going.
How high did you guys get on this board? Did you get to more than 3 diamonds?
Or 2 spades.
It was 2 spades against us, going off one.
I went to 3 diamonds. They went to 3 spades, and I left it there.
Yeah.
Did it go 3 diamonds like this?
No, I went 2. I went 2.
Went 2. They bid 2 spades, and they.
And I reckon I could count. Well, if I give myself 6 diamond tricks and a heart trick, and then I'm
Couple for good luck.
yeah.
Yeah. I could easily, and if they've got a spade fit, maybe you can trump in partner's hand.
Yeah.
The main concern is maybe they double you, but if you're not worried about that, then.
Yeah, I mean, a good rule that I like to apply in these competitive auctions is that getting to the 3 level is fine. You don't want to let the opponents play at the 2 level. But in the situation where you're north-south here, you really don't want to bid 3 over 3. The 3 level is the bad level. So normally the 2 level, the 4 level, they're the good levels. The 1 level, if you can stop 1 level. The 3 level is the bad level. So is the 5 level. The evens are for us. The odds are for the opposition.
Yeah. So I don't mind being the first one to the 3 level because you're stopping the opponents playing at that good 2 level. But I wouldn't like this 3 spade bid either by north or south here.
No, definitely not.
They've got flat
okay, if you had
hands
extra trumps. If you had extra trumps or big shape or something, that's when you can consider getting to the 3 level. But certainly not on these flat hands.
Yeah. This is definitely an awkward one to bid. So East has 19 points. So the auction might start with 1 spade. And here West has 8 points. But you probably just only want to bid 1 no trump. You don't want to be bidding a new suit at the 2 level.
Yeah, it's important to know that a no trump by a responder over a spade especially doesn't promise a balanced hand. It just is all the hands that haven't got enough points to do something more.
And here East might jump to 3 diamonds. After it goes a spade pass and no trump, if you bid a new suit here, such as 2 diamonds, this would typically be not forcing. It can have like strongish hands, like up to like 16, 17 points. But any hand that definitely wants to game force opposite a 6 to 9, 1 no trump bid would often jump here to say, partner, I got this big 2-suiter. Now, with so many points in your doubletons, I don't mind East just saying, yep, okay, great. I think 3 no trumps is a fine spot to be. But I think bidding 3 diamonds is also reasonable. These are the 2 bids I'd be thinking about bidding. What about you, Mike?
Yep, agree exactly. And I think one thing, it is often worth thinking about the location of your points as much as how many points you've got. And certainly when you've got lots of high cards in your short suits, that suggests angling towards no trumps more than if you had a pure hand with lots of points in your diamonds and spades, then definitely bid the diamonds is better. So for me, I mean, certainly here you also could bid just 2 no trumps. If you play that as showing something like an 18-19 hand, which leaves a little bit of room for partner to explore. So I think if I had comfortable system and partner knew that I was showing 18-19 by bidding 2 no trumps, I would try that.
So I think they're the 3 that would be weighing up, all totally reasonable. If you bid 3 no trumps, that'll end the auction. If you bid 2 no trumps, this West hand should accept. And they might bid something like 3 hearts if that was forcing for your side, or otherwise.
And I think 3 hearts there should be forcing because, again, one of the reasons to bid 2 no trumps on the 18-19 hands is to give partner who isn't necessarily balanced a chance to show what they've got.
If the East hand bids 3 diamonds, forcing, this West hand has a great hand for actually playing in diamonds. You almost never choose 5 minor, but if partner's bothering to mention diamonds, and I've shown 6 to 9, and I've got this 8 points and really big distribution. If partner had no interest in playing in diamonds, They shouldn't be bidding it if they're not wanting to play with this hand as that. So I'd be off the diamonds. So I'd personally bid 4 diamonds, which I'd play as forcing, but I could easily see your side getting to 5 diamonds.
Did you say it's forcing or not forcing?
I would play this as forcing. So
right.
well, personally,
that's because the 3 diamonds is
yeah.
forcing to gain for most people, I think.
Yeah. Easter said they've got enough points to go to game opposite a 1 no trump bid when they jumped over 1 no trump. So still go there. Also, just as a general rule that I often have is I have 4 minor be generally forcing unless the opponents have bid to 3 of a major and I'm like bidding over them. And the reason for this is if you've got a minor suit fit, the most likely game that you're going to play is actually 3 no trumps. So having a bid be non-forcing beyond your most likely game doesn't really make sense. So it leaves room for exploration if partner wanted to ask for aces, for instance, other things like that.
Another common principle that sort of fits in here is the reason Pete's bidding 4 diamonds rather than 5 diamonds is the idea of fast arrival versus slow arrival. And it's very common in more experienced partnerships to play a blanket rule that whenever you're forced to a level, say for example you have a fourth suit forcing option, where you bid all 4 of the suits and the 4th one is artificial, saying you want to go to game but don't know where, then the slower you bid, the lower you bid, the more powerful your hand is. And with a weak minimum hand, you can jump just the game and show a weak minimum hand.
Yeah.
So on this hand, 5 diamonds is the spot that, if you could see the east-west cards, you'd want to end up. But I actually don't mind ending up in 3 no trumps. If you got to 3 no trumps and went down, I wouldn't feel bad.
No. Okay. Well, that's where, of course, we ended up.
Interestingly, on this hand, playing match points, you actually probably want to end up in 4 hearts. But that's only because 4 hearts is likely to score, if you can make it, 620, which is more than the 600 you'll make in diamonds. But that's a sort of very quirky match point decision that wouldn't make sense at other scoring.
Like the only reason 3 no trumps is bad is you've got King Doubleton opposite Queen Jack. We've got 6 points in clubs, but they all sort of clash together.
Yeah.
Not that we would get there, but let's imagine that you played 3 no trump by East. And South had to find a lead. They lead a spade or a heart, you're making lots of tricks. And if they lead a club, you're going down.
Yeah, so it's very polarizing, yeah. And it's actually quite likely they would lead a heart here, I think.
Depending on what suits you've shown along the way. But yeah.
This is one of the swings and roundabouts of bridge, because if we'd had the option that I was suggesting was maybe good, where East bids 2 no trumps and West now shows they got hearts, giving the information away about what the hands are is going to help South come to the correct lead and lead a club and beat the contract. So that's all the swings and roundabouts of bridge. It really is.
Yeah. But like also, if you had to say we had this option, if you just swapped these north-south hands and the other hand was on lead, when they lead a heart, we've got like 11 tricks or something. So it's really that this hand just has a clear club lead because that's their 5-card suit.
That's right.
Which is just unfortunate. So
it's lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would think 3 no trumps is a totally reasonable spot to get to.
It fits into the same principle of trying to play no trumps when you can at match points, because if the opponents do make the wrong lead, you tend to make 10 tricks, which is 630, or 11 tricks, which is 660. Even getting to 5 diamonds, making it for 600, you'll lose to all people that are going to get the wrong lead against 3 no trumps.
Gary?
Yes, board 20, are we on that?
Yep.
Okay, it was very interesting. From our point of view here, we didn't find 3 no trumps. Okay, West opened a club, spade, North passed, East passed, South bid 2 clubs. West bid 2 hearts
and I'm north. Now I come in with 3 hearts, which was a challenge for my partner. Was not sure what I meant here. East doubled, south passed, west passed, and we ended up in 4 clubs.
Yeah.
I was asking for a spade heart help here, being a trapped hand in spades. So I've got an opening hand with spades, but it can't double or anything. 1 second, I better turn my. There we go. I'm running 3 sessions here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Busy guy.
Is it obvious for a 3 heart bid to be asking for a stop help for no trumps here? Or does this require a deep partnership agreement?
I like 3 hearts to be asking for Heartstopper and telling partner not to worry about spades.
Yeah.
So one of your concerns here is your partner doesn't have spade stopper. The opponent's bid spades. So how do they know, well, yes, I've got this Heartstopper eventually, but
Yeah.
why should they actually bid 3 no trumps? Well, if they look back at your other options here, you could also bid 2 spades, and 2 spades here should be showing a good hand and basically asking for stopper and spades. So you've got these 2 different choices of, do you ask in spades or do you ask in hearts? And seeing as you've skipped over one to bid the higher one, it should definitely imply that you're not worried about spades, but it's
Okay.
hearts that you're worried about here. And as I mentioned earlier, if we bid the opponent's suit later on in an auction, it's basically forcing, asking for more information, typically asking for a stopper in that suit.
All right.
I think also if you've got a hand that was concerned about spades and had hearts covered, you could start with 2 spades and then bid 3 spades, saying, "Do you have a stopper here?" So yeah, I agree with Pete here. I think it clearly asks for a heart stopper. That would be my agreement, or my inference from it.
Thanks.
Partner was particularly worried maybe they could bid 3 spades as well.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, the 3 heart bid should be implying spade coverage. But if they wanted you to play it, then they could bid 3 spades. Because maybe your stopper's the king of spades and you think the ace is onside, but it might not always be.
Okay.
I think you're likely to get a heart lead on that auction, but on the run of the cards, you probably go down.
Yeah. All right. What are your thoughts about this one?
Passes north. Yep, I open a diamond. 2, 5, 4, 6, 9, 10, 13. Yep, double that. Pass. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I reckon I have a bit of spade here. And then lifting. So I'm gonna bid 2 diamonds there. Passes south. I mean, I guess it's whether you can bid 2 spades here, just competitive. I probably would, if I can. I want my partner to know we have a fit. Again, I'm a bit of an animal, so I'd probably bid 3 diamonds as west as well, and I think you'd win it there. That would probably be my option.
Yeah, I like this option. So here with the east hand, if you opened a diamond and partner responded, you might jump to 3 diamonds. But when partner doesn't respond, then most of your bids just like drop down a level. So I think 2 diamonds is enough. I like bidding 2 spades to say, yep, I've got a fit here. If the auction went, say, a diamond, spade, and the next hand passed, I'd be passing a spade. I wouldn't be raising in this like non-competitive spot. The fact that there was the 2 diamonds, and now my choice is let them play 2 diamonds or tell partner about the fit. I like telling partner about the fit and bidding 2 spades. I also like 3 diamonds here. And we don't have 6 points. So why 3 diamonds in this spot, Renee?
Well, I've already passed over a diamond double. So my partner knows that I'm a limited hand. I'm trying to think of hands that I could feasibly have a pass and be like a 7-8 count. Because occasionally you can if you had something like, I don't know, maybe a 3-3-2-5, but on those hands I'm bidding a no trump. So I'm kind of limited by my original pass. And for that, I now know my partner has a 6 diamond. I know my partner can be a bit stronger because I'm a limited hand and they've chosen to bid 2 diamonds anyway. And I've got a really nice hand for that, right? I've got a roughing value in spades, and I've got a bullet. So for me, I definitely want to compete and I want to show my partner that I'm interested in competing.
Yeah.
What about you? Same thing? Same
Yeah,
thoughts?
I would bid 3 diamonds. Main thing here is I think there's lots of hands where you can convey to partner that you're weak with a pass, and then if partner's still involving you in the auction, you can compete. And like once you've warned partner about that you're weak, they're not going to get excited if you suddenly bid later in the piece. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
this initial pass gives you a lot of freedom here to bid otherwise aggressive things that you wouldn't often consider.
Mm.
All right. All right. Well, I'm not sure which hands we haven't covered, so
I might be able to.
happy to throw it open to just general questions, or if there is a hand you want me to go over, feel free. Or would love to hear stories about how your day went, any and all of the above. Well, while we're at it, Renee, why don't you tell us stories from the World Championships? For those that don't know,
Ooh.
Renee was on the Australians women's teams this year, and they made the knockouts. They made the quarterfinals. Unfortunately, got knocked out there. How was it? And yeah.
How was it? Pretty stressful. No, it was a fantastic experience. Glad I got it. Oh, thanks, Gary. Cheers, mate. Yeah, it was awesome. I've played a fair few worlds. I looked back at it now. I've never played a Venice Cup before, which is kind of new for me. Because
Venice
I've
Cup
played
being
in various...
the women's category. So you've played the Australian mixed team, which is called the Wuhan Cup. The Wuhan Cup was actually held in Wuhan in 2019, like a month or two before the COVID outbreak actually came. So a little bit of trivia for you. Both Renee and me were there for that. So
yeah, it was. We have backpacks from it, and walking around with that, the number of comments I got of like, "Did you drop a test tube?" It's like, no, wasn't me. I swear. Yeah, no, there were a few really cute hands. There was one that I'll lose sleep over for years to come, which was not good. I absolutely cooked it. But yeah, in general, great experience. Fantastic teammates. Great captain and coach. It was sort of yeah, it was a pretty great, a pretty exciting time to be. So I'll take it.
Yeah. Any hands that you did anything glorious on?
There was one kind of cute hand. I don't have it prepped, but that I ended up in 2 spades, and one of my opponent held Ace King Jack 10 6th. Oh, sorry, Ace King Jack 9 6th rather. Oh no, Ace King Jack 8 6th. I'll take it all back. And I nearly
the 9, the 8.
No, the 8, and it was actually important because I have 9 7 5th in hand and Queen 10 tied on table. And I actually at one point tried to draw trumps, which was very confident and very unsuccessful when they turned up 6-0. But then I end played them, and they had to give me a trick with my 9-7. So the 9 was high, and they were on lead and were forced to lead a spade into my 7. But I actually won with the 9 and then end played them again with a 7, so that they had to give me 2 tricks on table. So I sacrificed a trick to get 2 tricks to go 1 off in this contract rather than 2 off. Yeah, 3Ms, baby, 3Ms.
I think it's the best. I love it when you find really cool plays to reduce an under trick.
Oh yeah.
I remember just playing at a state night competition, and I bid to a slam. At trick 2 or 3, I proceeded to go down 1.
Good.
And double
good.
squeezed my opponents to stay down 1. And they
Hey.
congratulated me. And it was like, nice. Like, but how often do you get congratulated for going off in a slam? For me, like
yeah, fantastic. I limit that to maybe not a complete bottom. Good. What could go wrong? The other good ones are when they're doubled. Like you're going doubled 2 down. And you're like, but I only went 2 down and not 3. It's like, sorry.
How was the playing venue? And I was over in Herning, Denmark. Is that your first time over there, or?
No, second in Denmark. But I've never been to kind of a more rural area of Denmark. I've only been to Copenhagen. Whereas Herning, it was lovely. It was kind of up in the northwestern area. The venue was fantastic. It was kind of this convention center. So usually when you're playing, particularly like high level bridge overseas, for me, we're all very. You get into the zone and you kind of just want nice, easy food options so you can go back, chill out a bit. You want getting food to be an easy, quick process, basically. And there was plenty of that. Our team ended up taking over a household, basically. So we all independently booked Airbnbs and then found out we were all in the same house, which was pretty funny. So there was an invasion of Aussies. But it was kind of helpful because we had all these mutual spaces we ended up all just hanging out with, and we could talk about hands and we could cook dinners together. So that was it was great venue, fantastic people, love Denmark. So would definitely go back. Fantastic spot to run it.
Do you want to talk through what it's like to play like a world championship? Like what's different between a world championship and actually playing like a nationals or anything like?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'd say for starters, there's a level of performance anxiety. And I think relative to anywhere you are, any level you get performance anxiety, right? So I remember the first time I played in a state team, right? I had performance anxiety. I was scared. You're nervous, it's a big step up. So I think there's always that sort of, you reach that mark and you're like, okay, new challenge, and you kind of step it up. I think for like international events, particularly representing your country, a big thing is making sure you don't let down your team, making sure you don't let down, you do have this extra level of complexity with, for example, we had a captain and a coach. So lots of preparation prior to the event to make sure that we were on the same page, that we had all these really robust, well thought out agreements. For me, like there's so much of that performance anxiety. You also is about good preparation, but like good physical preparation before the event. So I know when I'm going into these events exactly what I need at the table and exactly what headspace I need to be in order to play my best bridge. So for me, I always need food, caffeine, water, a jumper. At these events, you have like name tags that you need to tag on in order to go to the bathroom. So I have this little nest at the table, just all set up, ready to go so I can get in a headspace. I always put my headphones in, and like the 15 minutes beforehand, I just kind of avoid people and listen to music. So it's very much, you're trying to perform to your absolute best. And particularly if you're playing lots, you get tired, right? It's stressful and high pressure and lots against really, really strong opponents. Yep. So you've got to manage those sort of things.
Gary just said, I guess each country develops their own style, and if we don't encounter them often, it's harder to defend against. Or does it feel similar to playing at home? There are definitely different styles. The certain countries that feel very similar to us, and there are certain countries that are drastically different, and you'll come up against conventions that you've never seen against. This is one of the things that when you represent when you go to an international competition, you actually have a captain. One of the roles that a good captain will do is actually look through all the systems that the opponents play and go, hang on, I have never seen this in my life. Maybe you guys should actually prepare for it, because you have to submit your system cards ahead of time. So if there's really abstract things that will like absolutely catch you off guard. A good captain will be able to spot some of those and like
Mm.
pre-warn you about that. But things like Poland often play a system called Polish Club.
Yep.
Yep. Whereas China, for instance, often plays strong clubs, precision style systems.
Mm-hmm.
America will play 2-over-1. But there's like basically systems like the sort of conventional quirks, like some countries have different styles and things.
I think a big one in America is like rooster no leads. That's a big thing that like particularly Australians don't really get exposed to, which is sort of an underleading process. So they underlead from length. So ace, queen, jack, fifth, they'd lead the jack. But something like queen, jack, X, they lead the queen. So yeah, it's sort of this weird kind of wacky leading style, and that can trip some people up. Another one that kind of jumps out at me is the Dutch. Sometimes they play an interesting one club opening and it goes past, and a diamond is like 4 different things. One of them is 0 to 7 with both majors. One of them's natural with diamonds, and they've got some other stuff in there too. So it's pretty wacky. You can definitely get some unusual stylistic things that for some countries are just normal.
So Gary said, are multi-twos allowed? Absolutely. So yeah, so while if you go to America, you basically can't play multi-twos. Basically, unless you're playing really unusual stuff, you can play whatever you want at a world championship. And this is one of the things of why you have to submit your system cards early. Also, basically all the Americans that have reached a world championship level have 0 issues playing against multi-twos. It's the ban of multi-twos in the US is mainly to protect like the intermediate level caliber players, because they're quite unusual. Like they can be complicated. We see them every day, so most people in Australia don't find them that challenging. But when you think about it, it can be very awkward. So the high level Americans do not have any issue with multi-twos. But yeah, basically conventionally you can do pretty much free range. It's hard to get a convention banned, but you can't do things like forcing pass and various other very obscure things like that. Renee, how would you so you're talking about like the Dutch have like the weird 1 diamond bid and things like that. What's your process when you come up against a unusual system that you've never seen before, but like they end up in a contract? What are your process to like untangle it and make it make sense to you in your mind? Because I'm sure people come up against unusual stuff they've never seen, and your process could be useful.
So for me, in terms of agreements, are you meaning like between me and my partner, or in terms of trying to figure out what the best lead and defense is?
In like figure out like what they're actually showing, like what do they actually have?
Yeah, okay. So I try and, for me, I always kind of look at the options and then say, okay, if they're these options, how would that fit for the rest of this? So let's use a multi-two, right? Imagine if it goes 2 diamonds, 2 spades, pass, 3 hearts, right? 2 diamonds multi. Clearly they've got one of our suits, right? Clearly, therefore, their partner probably has the other one because it's a misfit, right? So I would be kind of thinking about this being like, okay, well, both of these majors are probably splitting badly. So if that's the case, where would I want to be playing? All right. How do I think this is going to play in this particular spot? So it's probably worth going towards no trumps if that'll fit together. But I would kind of have this idea of, okay, well, there are 2 options as these 2. How would I piece together that given the context of the rest of the auction? I think another one that I had actually in Buenos Aires, so 2 years ago, and I was playing with a different partner and we didn't have an agreement. We had an auction. Partner opened partner opened a major. I bid 2 clubs. We play 3-way. So for us, it has a few different options. One of them's a 3-card invitational raise. The other one's a game forcing, right? And we had an artificial response, and then they jumped to 4 clubs. Now, in this, my partner said, we didn't have an agreement. I didn't really know, but she had a singled and small club. And so I went, okay, well, if I was looking at an auction like this, and again, we're in unfamiliar territory. It's the same as if my opponents are in unfamiliar territory. If we're in unfamiliar territory with a partnership and you're in a new partnership, a lot of good ideas is, okay, well, what are my options that it could be? And then I look at my opponent's bidding and I look at my hand and trying to make the most informed decision of which one of those is going to work. So this one, I had, I think, 8 solid clubs and just wanted to set clubs and then key card and figure out whether small slam or grand was the best spot. And on this hand, I think she could have looked at it and been like, okay, it's either a splinter or it's this, setting clubs, inviting cues sort of hand. And given the context of her hand in it, I think that she could have made an informed guess for that. Actually, we ended up winning 12 imps on the board, but it was sort of an interesting one of, these are my options. Now, given the context of everything else going on, what do I think? What do I think that they have? And what does that mean for where we should be? What does it mean for what their partner has? And kind of trying to fit the puzzle pieces together to get the best informed decision from it. Does that make sense? Is that sort of what you wanted?
Yeah. Like,
Something like
another, like, what about, so an unusual thing that sometimes comes up against us is if we play against people playing strong club systems and they do relays, and the opponents will have some obscure long auction. You ask them what the bids mean, and every second bid they say this is relay or this is an asking bid, and then they describe everything about the dummy.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose of this, or strong club relay systems, is to hide information about one of the hands. What's your thoughts about how to solve that? But welcome, Lorraine. We're just doing general chats. We've gone over most of the hands. Renee's only here for about another 5-10 minutes, so we're just having a general discussion. It'll be a bit of a break, and then at 8:15 Eastern time, Liam Milne will be back with me. So make sure you stick around, and hands that you want discussed, feel free to type in the chat. We'll definitely get to those. But yeah.
I think I suggested to Lorraine that she should come in and listen to this because it's wonderful.
Nice.
Oh. It's great to hear, Margaret. Good to know some of it's useful.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just asking Renee if she comes up against unusual systems, how she actually untangles it or works out something about a hand. And when you're at a world championship, you come across all kinds of weird things. And what's the process of trying to untangle it? And the specific example I had was, what if you come across a strong club system where they play relay? And basically what happens in these auctions, they bid to some obscure spot and every single bid's alerted. And then every second bid that every bid one player made is just asking, or relay. And they'll say, this person has this shape. But they'll only give you information about one hand because that's how their system's set up. So what do you do to work out what the sort of hidden hand actually has?
So the way I look at it is what my partner could have feasibly done that they have deigned not to do. So say it went strong club pass a heart, showing 4+ spades. Okay, well, my partner didn't double a heart. What would double mean? Okay, well, my partner, or, later on they bid 3 diamonds and my partner didn't double 3 diamonds. Okay, what would that be? And then I look at my hand and I go, okay, so my partner can't have those hands. And if I'm dishing up between 2 leads, for example, I say, okay, well, what would I need from my partner in order for this lead to be a success? Versus what do I need from my partner in this suit for this lead to be a success? And then go, okay, well, they had this. Well, they might have done a lead directing double with 3 diamonds. If I need them to have king, queen, 5th or better in diamonds, and they had a lead directing double of diamonds and they deign not to do it, okay, they probably don't have that because they are going to be trying their darndest to give me some sort of information, some sort of clue as to what the best way forward is. So if they haven't done that, I can take an inference from that too. So for me, it would be like, okay, well, I'm dishing up between a heart and a diamond. I need to figure out whether my partner could have a card here or a card here. But they haven't done this, they haven't done this, they haven't overcalled that. My right-hand opponent wasn't interested once they found out their partner had a short heart. Okay, maybe my right-hand opponent has some wastage in heart. So I'm leading into, it's these sort of, I'd be looking at what turned my right hand opponent off, or got my right hand opponent excited, or what my partner could have feasibly done that they deigned not to do, because you can take inferences from that as well. That would be kind of where I'd go from.
Yeah.
Lastly, I'd also look at my hand and be like, is there something that clearly looks like a great lead? A big one is, do I want to go aggressive or do I want to go passive? So it could be my left hand opponent has shown 5 spades, specifically 5 spades, and my right hand opponent's decided to play 3 no trumps. And I've got Jack X of spades, and I think we need to go aggressive. I might lead the Jack of spades because I think, well, I need to get back in and need another spade through to set up my partner's length in spades, for example, right? So I think there's plenty of things. It's highly likely if my right hand opponent's deigned to play 3 no trumps on this hand, that they've got at most 2 spades. So my partner has at least 4 spades, right? The Jack of spades could be a winning lead if it goes, Queen, King, and I come back in and I play another spade and I'm setting up my partner's spade tricks. So there'd be these sort of, do I need to go active and passive? What has my right hand opponent been excited about? What my right hand opponent has been hesitant about? And what my partner could have done that they decided not to do. So overcalls, doubles, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I really like looking for negative inferences in that spot. So what could have partner doubled? And also, like, what was the final question people asked? Like, they were clearly still asking questions to a point and then they stopped. Why did they stop then? What's that tell you about their hand? So that's that. But if you have like an awkward and unusual auction, sometimes you might play against people that just do something that you're not familiar with, but they describe their bids, but it's still, just because it's different is confusing to you. One thing that you can often do is just think about, okay, if I had it, how would we show that style of hand? An example would be like over a multi-2, if it goes 2 diamonds, pass, 2 hearts, and both bids are alerted and it goes pass, pass. There's one where if you're not familiar with multi-2s, then all these bids are unusual, but you now found out that they've shown a weak 2 in hearts. So you can go, oh, the style of hand they've got is it's gone 2 hearts by the other hand, pass, pass. I've just changed 2's declarer. But if you can think to like, if you can put like a box around what type of hand a player's shown, and then just think about like how you had bid it in your partnership, it can give you an easier frame of reference to like what everything actually means, rather than trying to remember a complicated auction or anything like that. So, but yeah, we've got only a couple more minutes before Renee's running away. Does anyone want to ask any questions?
Opening lead and trick 1 thinking. What about opening leading?
Oh, like, so with the negative inferences and things. Yeah, like you would definitely be thinking about that for opening lead and trick 1. Midway through the hand, one of the strongest things to think about is like, what is declarer's plan? So if you can go, basically whenever I defend, if I can answer what's the declarer's plan, even without signals or anything from partner, I go, okay, this is declarer's plan, this is how I counter it. The amount of times I just lazily defend because I know this has to simplify it and make it easy is amazing. So absolutely, when defending, thinking about like what's declarer's plan is like my number one thought process. But what about you, Renee?
For me, I think it's also a big one when it comes to leading against slams. I really like negative inferences for that, because sometimes you can be on touch and go on like, again, do I need to go aggressive? Do I need to go passive? But also, like, usually if the opponents get to a slam, there's been plenty of queuing, responses to key card, responses to queen asks, and partners had a whole, like, a myriad of times that they could do a lead directional double, and they've chosen not to do that lead directional double. So again, I think it's another one of those, you can get information about not only the opponent's hands, but also what my partner's deigned to do or not to do. So I think that's another one, definitely in terms of like the leading, without a doubt. What was the other one? It was leading or
like, is this for opening lead or trick 1 thinking?
Yeah, definitely. I think usually when it comes to trick 1 thinking, once I have figured out a lead and dummy hits, and I'm an absolute fiend for this, I like I'll play to trick one, and then I'll say, okay, everyone keep their cards up. I'm just going to think about the hand for a while. And people usually get a little bit finicky, and they're just like, but I want to play to the thing. And I'm very kind of like, no. And I will sit there and think, like, okay, well, what information have I got about the hand? Okay, my righty's shown 5 spades and 4 hearts. That means my partner's got most this and this, and then my righty's opened, bit of no trump, and then so therefore my partner has at most 9 points. So I'll count out any information or inferences I can have about the hand for trick one thinking before I play subsequent tricks, and it can have nothing to do with the first trick. But I'm a big fan of thinking at trick one, figuring out, visualizing as much of the hand as you can get, and then trying to take inferences from that. Also, as Pete said, from what Declare is doing. Okay, why are they playing on this? They must have that. Okay, all right. How does that fit in with the rest of the information?
I think your process of stopping at trick one and thinking is like absolutely vital. If anyone wants to improve their game, whether you're declaring or defending, slowing down at trick one's super important. There's when you're playing a club game, there's like this natural sort of social pressure, or maybe the director's hounding you. The number one question I get asked is like, how can you do all this in such little time? But when you think at trick one and pause and slow yourself down at trick one, you actually play the rest of the hand quicker. So people that don't pause at trick one, but like try and maintain that pressure, will have a bit of a think at trick one, a bit of a think at trick 4, a bit of a think at trick 7, a bit of a think at trick 10. Might have forgotten what happened at trick 1 by then, and like rinse and repeat. But if they stop and make a plan and come up with what's actually going on at trick 1 and slow down, let's say you take 30 seconds to a minute at trick 1, most of the time you can play the rest of the hand very quickly and in tempo because you've worked out what's actually going on. You might need to pause again if something unexpected happens, but you've come up with a plan and can play the rest of it quickly. And that will put you in a better spot than people that just feel rushed and feel like they have to keep playing.
I just love listening to this because we can't trust anybody to play properly at trick one. Read properly.
Yeah.
It's a totally random event.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that you can do is, if your trick 1 is if you might know what you want to play, but you can just like leave your card face up and just say, I just need a second to think. Gary said, speaking about slams, do you ever use Lightner doubles in bidding against slams?
Absolutely. Yep.
Against grand slams, it's iffy whether you should or not, because sometimes they can run to like 7-0, but basically Lightner doubles are a very useful double. For anyone that doesn't know, a Lightner double is a double saying partner find an unusual lead. Typically, I've got a void in dummy's first bid suit. Is what it typically is, but very powerful double.
All right, cool. Okay, 14, 15, 16, 17, 22 points. So maybe
a 2-0 trump
trump.
opening. Yep. And then I did a transfer, 3 diamonds to 3 hearts, which my partner accepted, thankfully. And then I just thought, I've got a singleton, I've got a bunch of hearts. Maybe she just got 2, but I've got 7 of them, I think. I'll just go 4. Now this, I mean, with my, I guess how to convey perhaps greater strength in my hand. Was 4 hearts the right sort of bid, or could I just jump to 6?
Tough one. You go, Pete.
So I reckon this will be a very routine auction all across the field. I feel like this one is extremely hard to bid. One of the things that makes this hand so good for slam is that partner doesn't actually have wasted points opposite your singleton. If you like swapped his minors around, 6 starts deteriorating, getting a lot worse. I think this is a totally normal auction. I wouldn't be upset. If I could see the east-west cards, yes, I would want to be in slam.
Yeah.
But I do not think that this, in natural methods, is an easy slam to bid.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I thought, well, I thought going 4 no trump and asking for aces, etc. When my partner is not experienced in, in Roman keycard, for example. So I thought, no, we'll just stick at 4 and take our money and run. So yeah.
What are your thoughts, Liam?
Yeah, it is definitely a really hard hand. I mean, it's any time you're bidding a slam and you've only got 27 high card points, it's like, you're going to have to have judged it pretty well.
Yeah.
Those are the slams that you get really good scores from bidding if you do manage to bid them, because the rest of the room is not going to bid this one.
That's right.
I'm guessing if this was scored across the whole country, like bidding 6 hearts here would be worth something like 90%.
Yeah.
It's a really a good contract to reach. I would suggest one thing to consider on the West cards. Have you heard of super accepts over transfers?
Oh yes, yeah. I have. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you could do here on the West hand. So typically a super accept is with 4 card support when partner transfers, right? Here, ace, king, queen, and 22 points, I might super accept anyway, right? So what you could do on the West hand is something like, if it goes 2 no trumps, 3 diamonds from East showing a transfer pass, West could bid 4 hearts instead. And what they'd be saying there is, I really like hearts. I've got a nice hand for you. And often that'll be based on 4 card support, but here, ace, king, queen, we're happy to bend the rules a little bit. And I think that makes the East hand much, much stronger now, because that 7 card hearts, it really goes up in value if partner has a fit.
Yeah.
And that might get you to bravely go key card. I mean, it is still a bit of a guess, right? You've got it's a little bit hard when the hand with 5 points has to judge it compared to the hand that's got 22. Right?
Yeah,
you're seeing so much less of your partnership's assets.
Exactly.
That East has sort of got to guess. But a super accept on the West cards is something that might well get East a little bit excited. And you mentioned Roman keycard. I mean, this is a great Roman keycard hand because the East hand definitely does care about the ace, king, queen of trumps.
Yes,
and so you'll hear West show 4 key cards. And, if you wanted to find out about it, you could find out about the queen of trumps as well, and find out that between you have all 5 key cards and the queen of trumps, and then you're looking for a 6 for sure.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. Good.
So here, what would you do as South?
Yeah, so there's a rule here. You need 6 or more points to respond. This is an excellent hand for breaking those rules. So I think it's a clear 1 spade bid, even though I've only got 2 queens and a jack. And in fact, I would bid even with less points than this. I would still bid something. So I actually gave a talk up at the Coffs Harbour Congress a couple of years ago about when to respond with less than 6 points. And one of the things I said you should consider responding with less than 6 points with was when you either had very few of partners open soon, so you're very unhappy where you currently are, or if you had quite a lot of partners, you should be willing to respond as well. The hands in the middle where you have 2 or 3 of partners suit are a lot less interesting in terms of responding light, because you don't really mind too much if you pass and it goes all pass and you play on 1 club. But here, obviously, if you pass 1 club, it's just a disaster. It's a complete disaster, because although partner has quite a lot of clubs, they also have spades with you. And this time, after you respond 1 spade, your partner's actually going to go 4 spades. Well, they should at least. And now you have a chance of making a game contract instead of playing in 1 club. So, definitely like a light response here with the South hand, even though it doesn't have any points, it's got great shape. And we hate playing in 1 club at the moment. So change suit, see what happens.
Right. So here I think there's an interesting overcalling choice for North here. So the sort of 3 bids that come to mind, I want you to talk through the options.
Sure.
You could double, planning to double and bid hearts. You could overcall a heart, or you could overcall a no trump. So what's your choice and why?
Yeah, I mean, this comes down to some personal preferences, I guess. I've experimented with the 1 no trump overcalls when you've got the right sort of strength and you are balanced, but you also have a 5-card major. And my experience has been that bidding a 5-card major is almost always better than overcalling 1-no trump. 1-no trump does a good job of describing your strength in one go, but it does miss a major feature of your hand, the 5-card major suit. The other thing I don't like so much about overcalling 1-no trump here is this tenuous stopper of King Jack Doubleton. I can't do any hold-up play. They're going to make me win the first or the second trick, and then the diamonds are wide open, and I'll probably be wishing I was playing in hearts or clubs at that point rather than no trump. There's another thing I don't like about bidding 1-no trump, which is if partner has 5 spades and a bad hand, they're going to transfer to spades. And do I really want to play in a 5-2 spade with King Doubleton spade instead of hearts or clubs? Not so sure about that. So let's put 1-no trump as an optionist to the side for one moment and think about whether we should bid hearts straight away or double and then bid hearts. So I guess let's talk about the 2 scenarios where each will perform better. I think if you overcall 1 heart and it goes pass, 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 probably you would have preferred to have doubled and force partner to bid so that you could then follow up with a heart bid. So double and then changing to a new suit shows a big hand, right? And so in this situation, if we double and say partner responds, I don't know, I guess they're going to bid 2 clubs this time, then we can change back to 2 hearts and we show a big hand with hearts, like a 1 heart overcall, but it was too strong to overcall 1 heart the first time, at least 17 points or so. And that would be a good thing to do if, in the alternative way of doing things, if you had bid 1 heart and it went all pass, you'd probably prefer not to have done that now, because now you're playing 1 heart when you could have so much more than this. On the flip side, when will bidding 1 heart directly work? Well, it'll work whenever anyone else makes a bid. I would prefer to have bid 1 heart directly, because now I can maybe bid clubs next, or maybe do a double next, or maybe bid lots of more next, right? Lots of good things could happen. And this type of auction, like it seems like it's reasonably likely to get to a competitive auction. They open 1 diamond and I'm short in diamonds and short in spades. Seems reasonably likely someone's going to bid diamonds or spades. Maybe it's going to be partner, maybe it's going to be the opponents. So I would be bidding 1 heart here. I must admit, Pete, that the double and bid school of do this whenever you have 17 plus points. I used to be a believer in this, but I tend more to be overcalling these days, especially like in the modern game where people are quite aggressive and people are happy to bid without necessarily having good hands, which means that if you do overcall 1 heart here, it's maybe less likely that you get left there than you think. And maybe if you do get left here, it isn't a disaster. Your hand's not overwhelmingly strong. It's a good hand, but it's not like a game in your own hand sort of hand. I'd be interested in your thoughts, Pete.
Yeah, I'm a 1 heart bidder as well, for sure. I like often people, when they learn about the power doubles where double and then bidding again shows a strong hand, feel like they have to do it every time they get 16 points or 17 points. I feel like that's like the minimum. You can do that when you have when you have extra shape or something else going on that makes it more powerful. These hands almost never get passed out when you just overcall a suit, and getting your suit in is quite valuable. The other thing is, if I ever want to do a power double, I always think, am I willing to bid my suit at the 3 level? So an example of if you started with a double on this hand, the way I'd expect the auction to go is here, 2 spades, and we haven't conveyed anything yet, and we can bid hearts here, but we're bidding at just a 5-card suit and we'd never get clubs into it. To me, I don't do power doubles very often unless my hand is extremely strong.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really good point you're making. So on this hand here, it will go 1 spade past 2 spades, regardless of what you do, right? Whether you double first or bid 1 heart first, the opponents are going to go 1 spade past 2 spades. So if you double first, because you haven't described anything about your shape, you've only said points, it means you now have to start describing your shape at the 3 level. Your first bid showing anything in terms of your shape is at the 3 level, it's going to be 3 hearts. And on this hand, right, like partner has 3 of them, that's nice, but partner could have had a singleton and 5 or 6 clubs, and that would be a disaster. But if you had started with 1 heart, you've already shown some hearts. And then when it goes 1 spade past 2 spades, you can bid 3 clubs. And now you've shown 5 hearts and 4 clubs, which is a great description of your hand. And if partner likes clubs, you can play in clubs. And if they don't like clubs, they can go back to hearts. And you're just going to be in such a better trump suit a lot of the time. And mind you, we have still shown a good hand. We've bid 1 heart and then 3 clubs all by ourselves. We must have a good hand. Maybe we haven't promised 17 high card points, but we've shown a good hand. We're probably not going to miss a game bidding this way. So yeah.
For us to make a game, you definitely need partner to have some points and to actually show support. So
exactly right. Like if partner's never going to bid, then you're not going to bid a game by yourself. So yeah, definitely agree with overcalling 1 heart here. If you're just tuning in, power doubles overrated. That the most likely time I would make a power double, and I think Pete would probably agree, is when you have a big balanced hand, right? A hand that's too good to overcall 1 no trump. So say you have like 19 high card points, 20 high card points, and you're a bit good to overcall 1 no trump directly. And you can't overcall 2 no trump directly because you play the unusual 2 no trump, right? And it is artificial. It's a convention showing 2 suits. So then you have to start with a double and then bid no trumps next time. That's a really good idea to do a power double, but when you've got a bit of shape, and yeah, definitely often like to bid your suit.
So I reckon this is a awkward bidding one. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you try and navigate this one. On this, 7 no trumps is a reasonably good contract. Just needs clubs to come in, basically. But this is a hand where it wouldn't surprise me if people didn't even get to small slam.
Absolutely, yeah. So the thing that makes it hard to bid to a really high level here is that valuing your hand based on high card points. So if you only value your hands based on high card points, the East hand has got 17, the West hand has only got 12. It's a horrible hand. And 17 and 12 is 29, and you need 33 to be in slam. So you're 4 points short, nowhere close to being slam. And of course, you can see on this hand, you can actually make 13 tricks in spades or clubs or no trumps. So it's an excellent grand slam. So the way to, I guess, get towards at least a small slam is for both East and West to value their hands as being worth a lot more than the points they have. So before we get into the auction, let's talk about these 2 hands and how amazing they are. The East hand, it's 17 high card points, but it's got a 5 card major suit, so instantly that's a good feature. It's got 3 aces. It's got no what I would call flaws, right? So a flaw being like a singleton king or like short honors in general. Or crappy long suits that don't have any honors in them. Just things that feel a bit bad. Like the East hand is just pure, right? Aces and kings, points in the long suit, just awesome hand. I'd be valuing the East hand as at least 18 or maybe 19 points. It's a really, really strong hand.
Show people this. So there's a website called Kaplan and Rublin's Hand Evaluator. You can just Google K and R Hand Evaluator and it pops up. And basically, this is like an algorithm for like a more refined approach of analyzing hands. And this says this hand is worth 18.05. Gives another one that says it's 18. The idea for this is high card points are not a perfect method. It's your location of your points. Are they aces or are they jacks? And all kinds of different things that can help evaluate it. So you can just mess around. You can find lots of different hands, chuck them in it, and you'll find some hands work really well and some hands don't. And you can try and get a better sense of refining your judgment of when hands are good or not.
Okay, Pete, can you put in a hand here? I'm going to give a hand with flaws. Because I just mentioned flaws. So let's type in a hand with flaws. So we're going to start with Queen Jack doubled in the spades.
Yeah.
And we're going to go Jack XX of hearts. We've got to make this hand an opening hand. We've got to give it 12 high cut points, 7 more points. Maybe we'll go Jack to 5 diamonds. I'm even going to give it 5 cut suit. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to have 7 more points. Maybe, yeah, Ace King X of clubs. So how many points do you reckon these two evaluators will? Yeah, Ace Queen Jack. That's good.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Pete? 10. Yeah. So this is definitely 12 high card points, and it's got a 5 card suit. It's a completely uncontroversial 1 diamond opening bid, except this evaluator, I reckon, will say it's worth not much. 8.5. Oh. So instead of being worth 12, they're saying it's at least 3 points worse. Now, if we're looking at this and see like why these evaluators are saying this hand's so bad. So basically, points in your short suits are really bad. And points in your long suits are really good, because having points in your long suits lets you set up long suit tricks. Points in your short suits, well, the Queen Jack of spades, if the opponents play the Ace and King, you just have to follow suit. They're worth nothing. The Jack XX of hearts, the other bad thing, right? So evaluating hands, unconnected honors. So an honor by itself is worth less than an honor with some friends. So having, Queen Jack to 5 in a suit is better than having Queen to 5 and a Jack in it somewhere else, because the Queen and Jack working together are more likely to take a trick. So Jack XX of hearts is probably worth close to nothing, right? Like a Jack by itself, I would encourage you to heavily downgrade that. Like, yeah, the Queen Jack spades are pretty bad here, and Jack XX of hearts is really bad. Okay, so the East hand. So let's say you're considering an opening bid here, whether you should open 1 heart because you've got 5 hearts, or whether you should open 1 trump, trying to show 15 to 17 in a balanced hand. So let's go to a rule of thumb that, like, everyone can apply, and in fact you could teach beginners. The rule is, right, to get this hand from being worth 17 points to being worth 18 is to say, I have a 5 card suit. So every time you have a 5 card, a 5 card or longer suit, give yourself 1 point for every card past the 4th one. I'll say that again. So 5 card suits or longer, 1 point for every card past the 4th card. So a 5 card suit's worth 1 extra point. A 6 card suit's worth 2 extra points. A 7 card suit's worth 3 extra points. And this hand here, you've got 17 high card points. You add 1 for the heart. If the 5 card heart suit is worth 18, it's too strong to open 1 trump. So the East hand, we might as well tick things off. It's a 1 heart opener. South will pass. Okay, West. So what do you reckon about West here, Pete?
First question, how would you evaluate it? How strong?
How strong? Well, it's only 12 high cut points. If we did losers, right? Some people like losers. I think looking at the losing trick count here is a pretty good place to start. We have 1 spade loser, 1 club loser, and 2 heart losers. So a 4 loser hand. A typical opening bid, like a typical 12-point hand, is worth 7 losers, and this is only worth 4. So, this is just a huge, huge hand. It's 6-5, which is great. We've got a void, and it's not in partner suit. It's in an unbid suit, which is awesome. We've got 2 in partner suit, which is great. But we've got 6-5, and every single honor we have is in our 2 suits. Wow, it's just so good. It's such a good hand. So high card points would count to 12. I reckon your K&R evaluator is going to call this something like 16. It's worth a lot.
17.85.
17.85. I was underbidding as usual. Now, go back to that page, Pete. The 2 evaluations here shows that you should look at K&R, not DK. Because DK calling it 12 plus, it's a slightly good 12 count, completely misses the point. This is a hand is an insanely good hand. This is a very, very, very good hand. So if you look at this website, focus on the K&R.
All right. What would you respond with this 6-5?
I would respond 2 clubs. So I'll give our listeners a really nice rule that's widely applicable, which is that when you have a really strong hand facing partner's opening bid, like a hand that's a game-forcing hand, a hand that's definitely going to play game, you should bid your suits in the correct order, the longest suit first. There was that other hand that we were talking about earlier. What was the hand where East had 5 diamonds and 4 hearts? And you can make 6 hearts. Yeah, that's the hand, 16. So if you look at this hand, this is a really good example of this principle. So West opens a club and it goes pass to East, who has a choice of which suit to respond. And, you often hear this idea major suits first, but it's definitely right to respond 1 diamond on the East hand, because the East hand's always going to go to game. Obviously it's going to often go to slam. And so you want to show your suits in the right order. And the right order means longest suit first. So the East hand should be planning on bidding diamonds and then hearts to show 5 diamonds and 4 hearts, longer diamonds and hearts, because we bid them first. And the same thing applies on board 14, if you want to bring it back up. Board 14, if partner opens a heart and you respond a spade, partner's most likely next bid is 2 diamonds. It's not going to happen this time, but it's reasonably likely that it will happen because, you have no diamonds. So if that's going to happen, your 6-card club suit, you're never going to be able to bid naturally. Right? So that's why I think you've got to respond 2 clubs in the first instance here. And I'm really hoping, as West, that my partner rebids 2 hearts, not 2 diamonds. Because if my partner bids 2 diamonds, I'm really going to struggle to show they have 5 spades. So East, I like the 3 no trump idea. If East rebids 2 no trumps, partner might think we've got like 12 to 14. And so the East hand jumping to 3 no trumps sounds like 18, 19. If you open 1 no trump with 15 to 17, it can't be anything in the middle. So it has to be bigger than that. So now that West hand, golly gosh, this is a really good hand and a hand that we wish we had more bidding room with. We could continue with 4 spades. Now, 4 spades, if we just sort of think about the implications of this bid, it probably should show 5 spades, and therefore we must have longer clubs, 6 clubs, because if we had 5 spades and 5 clubs, we would have responded 1 spade the first time. And the reason why I would make the argument that 4 spades should show 5 rather than just 4 is that partner who jumped to 3 no trump should have denied 4 spades. So it doesn't really make sense for us to bid 4 spades because partner can't have 4. Pete, why can East not have 4 spades?
If East had 4 spades instead of 3 no, they could have bid 2 spades along the way here. Showing their 5-4 shape and leaving room. 3 no should be like unambiguous that like you have no other suit that you're wanting to do. You're taking up all that space.
Yeah, a good bidding idea. The more space you use, the more descriptive your bid should be, because you're taking away room for partner to describe, right? So if you have a hand that's got shape, you want to make low bids and new suits and sort of start having a conversation. When you jump to 3 no trump, this should be, I have a 5-3-3-2 balanced hand and some extra points. Exactly right. And as Gary says, 2 spades should be a reverse. Reverses, Pete. I imagine that's a topic that you've covered over the years. It's a pretty interesting topic to, try to describe to people. Can you think of a rule that says why 2 spades is a reverse?
The way that there's multiple ways of thinking about it, but one way that I like to think about reverses is if responder wants to go back to partner's first bid suit, does it have to be at the 2 level or the 3 level? So here, the responder, if they want to support the first suit, hearts, they have to go to 3 hearts. Whereas if you bid 2 diamonds, here, if the responder wanted to go back to the first bid suit, they would just bid 2 hearts. And here, the 2 diamonds is not a reverse. It leaves that room that you can still get out at that lower level. Whereas the 2 spade bid, that basically escalates at a whole level. So whenever you're escalating at more levels, then you want extra points for that.
Yeah, and a good test is, are you bidding a new suit past 2 of your first suit, which is a different way of saying exactly the same thing as you just said. So if East had bid 2 diamonds, it would not be a reverse because it's still below 2 hearts. But if East had bid 2 spades, it's gone past 2 hearts, so it should be a reverse, meaning it should show extra points. And it should, in fact, in this option, say that we have enough points to play in game. Sadly for West, East is not going to bid 2 spades this time. So yeah, it's still a tricky one. You really wish you had more bidding room. Like, it would be the best thing that could have happened on the West hand after you bid 2 clubs is a partner bids 2 hearts, and now we bid 2 spades, and then we have started describing our shape. But now we might have to describe our shape at a higher level. I mean, that West hand, the thing is, if you bid 4 spades, I'm a little worried partner's going to pass. I think the West hand is strong enough to make a slam. So look, I mean, there's fancy things you could do, but like a really old-fashioned, natural way of describing the hand, exactly, Gary, I would say 5 spades. It's clearly, I've got 5 of them. I've just jumped to the 5 level. And this auction, by the way, looks like a race for who can use up the most room the quickest. But you know, the bids are made with a purpose. They are descriptive bids. I think the West hand is saying, I've got 5 spades and 6 clubs, and I want to play a slam. And, you know, you choose. I definitely think it's forcing, because both sides are bidding lots. Both East and West are bidding lots. So
yeah, like there's no benefit in playing at 5 spades. So if they wanted to just play in spades, they'll just bid 4.
Yeah.
Pamela Jensen just said, "Hi there, just joined from New Zealand. Where can I find the hands?" Thanks. Laura, do you want to take that? Laura's in the chat. She'll send you a link.
I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Talk to you soon.
All right. Yeah, so definitely an awkward one. And if you didn't diagnose your fit on this, it would be very easy to miss the slam on this. I think looking at results, you'd find not many people manage to get to slam on this. If you did, I think well done. Let's bring up another one. If people have hands, please chuck them in. I'm happy to jump to them. There's another one that's interesting. Gary says, I love these challenging shapes. Yeah, sometimes like if you find like a fit easily with the West cards, these hands are so easy to bid. But if you don't find a fit, then they can be an absolute nightmare to try and bid. Here's one I got asked about earlier. I might come back to that one when Liam's back. Okay.
Yeah, and a message from Laura. Andy's also donated an online lesson. It was a prize for clubs around the country. And yeah, he's going to be spreading some more ex-youth player knowledge. I think for many people, they would consider us still youth players. But doesn't feel that way when you have 2 kids and a mortgage, trust me.
I was lucky enough to captain the Australian under-21s team this year. And I realized that it was actually 21 years ago that I learnt bridge. So I was like, I've been playing bridge longer than any of these kids could have possibly been alive. It really made me feel old, but
yeah.
I still get mentioned about still being youth, but we are working on getting more young ones in. And we got Kim, the ABF Foundation Chair. Kim, thanks for joining. Do you want to say anything?
Oh, I would just like to say what a fabulous day it's been. I was at Moonee Valley this afternoon directing our Bridge Day Out session, and they're running a second session this evening, so they're still going strong. So this afternoon we had 18 tables, so that was a group. We had a sausage sizzle and a whole bunch of stuff, and we're going to be collating all the stuff the coordinator of the day is going to be collating everything tonight and tomorrow and sending in our reports. And we've also had a few clubs who couldn't participate in the day but have made donations as well. So it's just been a really terrific event. And this is the first one. First one's always hardest. I remember when Neura started their Bridge for Brains event, and the first year, it wasn't very big and it just grew over time. And I'm really hoping that this can do the same thing and we can get some really positive stuff happening for Bridge in schools, which has long been a goal of mine. Even since I started on the ABF board and stepped down, we weren't really able to get anything meaningful going, but I'm really, really hopeful that with, young people like Laura and Pete involved younger than me anyway, that we'll be able to get some really positive stuff happening. And I want to thank Liam and Pete and all the pros that have given up their time today to do the Zoom. Not sure we've had that many people logging into it, but it's great to see a few people on board tonight. And a special shout out to Kenmore, who have just done such an amazing supportive event for the Bridge Day Out. We'd like to see other clubs, get their innovation hats on and do some innovative stuff as well. Doesn't matter if you raise a lot of money or a little money, it's more about having a great day and having fun.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, certainly hasn't been a slow start, even though it's the first time around. It's close to 50 clubs participating. It's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, a huge thank you to Laura. I can't tell you how much effort and time and energy she has put into this. She's come up with some really innovative ideas. The cookies just look amazing in the club. I don't know if she baked those herself or had a little helper to do it, but they were amazing, and all the artwork and everything she's done has just been, so wonderful. She's such an energized person. I really don't know how she did it and captained 2 overseas teams in the interim and ran a national event at the same time, all in the space of a few months. Just an extraordinary individual. We're very lucky to have Laura involved in Bridge.
Yeah,
thank goodness Laura's not a chess player.
She's not on. She's asleep. I bet she's asleep. Has she gone to sleep yet?
No, she doesn't sleep. She'll be.
Laura doesn't sleep, no.
Doesn't? No, I guess not. I know how hard she's worked on this.
This makes me tired watching her. It's like, oh.
Yeah, she's great. So I saw some of the results coming in today when I was directing our afternoon session, and there were some pretty interesting hands and some pretty amazing results coming. But one that I really was interested in was board 1, because a lot of the players in our club reached 4 spades, but I think they pretty much all went down. So I don't know if you wanted to talk about how you might approach that. For me, it looked like a hand that I might cross rough to set up some suits, but just thought maybe that was one that might be worth a bit of a chat.
Yeah, there's definitely a good hand that gets pretty awkward. Looks like a fantastic contract.
Yeah.
The 4-0 break makes this very awkward. I got 4 robots to play. They also went down in it, but I don't think they took the best line. So they got the King of Diamonds lead, which seems totally reasonable. Yeah. And we were taking a look at this earlier. We got partway through and then stopped because it was going to get awkward about where we go. So we thought, we'll start here, and then King of Hearts and East will probably win and probably just play another diamond.
Yeah.
And we thought this would be a pretty normal start to 4 spades, and we're sort of setting ourselves up to cross rough. But West has a very awkward problem, so I'll let Liam take it away. You were thinking about this earlier.
Yeah, so King of Diamonds to the ace. Declare plays the King of Hearts off the dummy. East wins and plays a diamond through, and West wins and has to decide what to do now. And there's nothing that stands out as a good thing to do. Clubs, the dummy has the ace queen, and we're sitting over our king, and it's probably more likely to declare it a short than partner. Hearts and diamonds, dummies roughing both of those, and we don't have a trump to play. So this is a really, really difficult situation, and it is very, very unclear what to do. And what I would be thinking is 2 rounds of diamonds have gone, just 8 diamonds. And there's not that many diamonds left. We've got 2 of them. That's so 8 of the 2 rounds of diamonds. We've got 2 more, 10. There's 3 diamonds left. If partner's got 1 and declarer's got 2, playing a diamond could be quite good. So why don't you play a diamond here, Pete, and just sort of see what I'm talking about. So declarer can rough, right? And partner will follow suit, and so will declarer, right? Declarer doesn't have to rough, but declarer could rough. We don't know that declarer has the 10 and the 9 of diamonds. This time declarer should pitch. But let's imagine that partner had the 10 of diamonds, for example, and that, declarer's diamonds weren't all high. Then when dummy roughs and partner follows with their last diamond, now partner's threatening to over rough the next diamond in the dummy. And if partner gets to over rough something and play a trump back, that's probably good for us, right? That seems more appealing than playing a heart from West's point of view. Because playing a heart, we have no idea who has the queen of hearts. And declarer could have queen 10. We might be leading away from the jack into the queen 10. And a heart also doesn't really seem to accomplish anything. So I'm thinking about, like, okay, we say we have to play something, playing a club doesn't appear to do anything good, and it is risky. So we're going to play a red suit, which dummy can rough. I think a diamond has a lot more going for it than a heart. And I think West should play a diamond. And this time, declarer should pitch from the dummy because they've got winning diamonds in there.
Yeah, they should pitch. It is awkward. They are starting to worry that West has 5 diamonds, though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, if you pitch and it gets rough, this is not good. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a play that, like, if you're sitting there as declarer and you don't know what they're about to play, you really hope they play a heart, not a diamond. Because a diamond, like, you're thinking, oh, it might get roughed, whereas a heart, you're obviously just going to win the queen and life's good. So what should declarer do now? It seems definitely wrong to play a diamond. There's only 1 diamond left in the dummy, so you know it's left in the deck apart from the one in your hand. So someone's going to rough. So
I feel like it's pretty natural to play a trump at this stage. You don't know about the bad break. Your 9 of diamonds is high, your queen of hearts is high. You're thinking I can pitch 1 on the ace of clubs and just rough 1.
Sure, if the trumps are not 4-0, it's just a claim at this point, right? So I think West leading a spade and planning on taking a trump finesse through West is a good idea. And then West shows out. So now
what about ace versus losing to the king? What are your thoughts on sort of solving this problem?
So if we play the jack and they win the king, what's the worst thing they could do to us? Well, given that we're now sort of thinking about the cross rough, probably the worst thing that they can do to us is play back a trump. And then, is this bad? I mean, I don't think it's bad. I think it's fine because we can win our 7. And now we have the queen of hearts in our hand and 3 losers. Well, 2 losers and a winning diamond that we can't cash. And we've got enough tricks to get everything. So I think you end up making 10 tricks this way. I think if you play the spade and it goes pitch, it seems natural to play the ace because you know the finesse is going to lose now. But I don't think ace can do anything to you. You're still going to be able to draw trumps, and you only need to rough something in the dummy. So,
what if at trick 2, instead of cashing the king of hearts, you played a diamond back towards your hand?
Yeah. So there's
we talked about this, but so what we came up with here, Kim, was that if we play the king of hearts and East wins the ace, they're probably going to play a diamond for us.
Right.
And that accomplishes both the things we want. If we play a diamond, there's a fair chance they're going to play a heart for us as well. But
So if we win and play a diamond back, one of the things you might be thinking about is, hey, maybe we can throw our heart and we don't need to lose a heart. Might be one of the things. So if we play a diamond, let's say that we get all of our dreams that this happens and they return a diamond and we throw this. We've gotten rid of our heart, but we still have lots of, like, we've now got 4 hearts we
Yeah.
have to navigate.
Yeah.
So
Fair
this
enough.
would be good if we can set clubs up,
Yeah.
which, like, you definitely could do. If this is like a very nice layout, we
Yeah.
can maybe set clubs up, draw trumps and everything like that.
Yeah.
But if you pitch there, we're hoping they don't play the heart when they can see it in the dummy.
It's the
Yeah.
most appealing thing for them to play, probably.
Yeah.
I guess looking at the
Yeah.
dummy, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, and I guess the
And if you
other,
do play
yeah,
a diamond, it'll basically transpose most of the time. So
Yeah.
they'll win. And looking at this dummy, I'd expect them to play a heart. And it's now in the same spot.
yeah, it's now East who has the problem rather than West.
Yeah,
And again, East should play a diamond, not a heart, I think, for the same reasons that we talked about before.
well, East should play a diamond because they know that they're shortening themselves in diamonds.
Exactly.
East
It's
was
even easier,
shortening
yeah.
themselves in heart. They should play a heart. They've
Yeah.
got sort of choice of which suit they want to play in, but they're both sort of very similar. I think one of the key things is in the spot where you know you're taking the losing finesse.
Yeah.
If I just get back up to that.
Sorry, I'm just going to see if I've got a hand record here. There was another board where East West can make, I think, 7 no trumps or 7 clubs or something. And at one of the auctions in my room, the opponents, the East West got to 5, 6 hearts. And the South hand had 5 hearts and like King, Queen, Jack, 4 thin diamonds. And they doubled. And South got the chance to run to 6 no trumps for an absolute top. So one of the things I was talking about to the person who said this was I said, well, when they're in a slam, if it's their hand, and you think you've got defense to it, just let them suffer. Don't, doubling often gives them a chance to run to somewhere that is safer, which is exactly what happened. So it was kind of an interesting hand because, with navigating the void, it's it's tricky for West to be, asking if East, for example, opened 1 no trump with their 17 count with a 5 card suit, then how does West find out what they need to know?
Yeah. This one's definitely awkward to find out what you need to know. But yeah, doubling the slam, if the opponent, obviously they didn't open 6 hearts, but ending up in 6 hearts, they're going down in a slam and they've had like multiple spots where they can possibly play.
Yeah.
You're going to get a good score for them bidding to 6 hearts. I don't think you're upping your match point score much by doubling here.
No.
If they've got
No.
nowhere to run or they're just like absolutely set on a contract, that's very, very different. But
Yeah. Because I remember reading Sartaj wrote in his book about how he and his partner agreed they were never going to make Lightner doubles anymore because when they made a Lightner double, the people ran to 6 no trumps and they made their 6 no trumps, whereas they were going down, they had a chance to go down where they were, but they got doubled. They knew, okay, these people know what they're doing, so we're obviously going down here, so let's try 6 no trumps sort of thing, with the void and a rough sort of thing. So I think it's quite a good lesson for players that, if it's not your hand, doubling can often rob you of a result that, the opponents have kind of got to the wrong place and you're not getting that much extra by getting the extra under trick.
Yeah, especially playing match points, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're getting 100%, you can't get 105%.
No.
So if they've stuffed it up and they're going down a slam, then yeah, doubling has very little to gain. There was a hand that it reminded me from the Spring National Open Teams final from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So the opponents, well, I think I opened 2 hearts. The opponents get to 6 no trumps, and partner's sitting over there on lead with an ace king. He's on lead against 6 no trumps with ace king in a suit. Seems like a pretty good situation. So he doubled. And the next player, if they had run to 7 spades, I had to guess which partner's suit was to beat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I guess wrong, they make 7 spades doubled.
That's right.
And they probably should have realized that partner was on lead with ace king. They probably should have made me guess by running to 7 spades, even though they know it's not making, but not making means maybe making at the table because I'm on lead and partner's not.
Yeah.
And we were discussing afterwards, and we concluded that partner probably should have taken the awesome score of 6 no trumps 1 down. Instead of going for the 6 no trumps double 1 down for an extra 50 or 100 points and risking maybe the opponent's bid to 7 spades doubled, making for minus 200 million or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of sympathy for South's double here because obviously it looks like they've got a bunch of tricks in their hand, but
they are sure 6 hearts isn't making.
I've got one more story about this sort of situation.
That's right.
This was a hand from the Bermuda Bowl. So I was over in Denmark. So I guess for those of you who have tuned in tonight who aren't aware of what I guess happened at the World Championships and so on recently, the Australian representative teams headed over to Denmark to play in the World Championships. And I was on the Australian Open team, and we had this hand against the English team. So my hand was something like ace 10 to 6 spades and a king somewhere, 7 points. And partner opened 2 no trumps, and I bid 3 hearts, transfer to spades, and he bid 3 spades, and I bid 4 spades. And now it went double on my left. Pass. Now I have 7 points, and partner showing 20 to 21. And they've doubled for penalties and against 4 spades. So I thought the spades had to be 5-0. There was just nothing else the guy could be doubling on. He must have king, queen, jack, 9, 8 spades or something like that. Or maybe partner's got a singleton spade and the guy's got 6 of them or something like that. Just thought there's just no way that 4 spades is making. He's doubled because he's got trump tricks. So I decided not to pass out 4 spades doubled. I ran to 4 no trumps, which looked a bit silly. Transferring and raising to game and spades, you get doubled there and you try to go back to no trumps. So 4 no trumps didn't get doubled, and partner came pretty close to making it. 4 spades was completely cold off because the guy had king, queen, jack, 9, 8 of spades. But he gave us a chance.
Yeah.
He doubled for his 1 down, and I think he was getting 2 down in the hand. Partner couldn't do anything to in play him or anything like that to reduce the guy's trump tricks.
Yeah.
But 4 no trumps got pretty close because partner didn't have to deal with like 4 short trump losers. So sometimes even when they're going down, it's maybe not always right to double. Most people don't double enough, so maybe this is bad advice for people. But and most people don't run when they get doubled either. But
I've been told I don't double enough, but I like to know they're going down if I'm going to double, especially part scores. It's like
So Kate McCallum, American multiple world champion, now living in Adelaide. One of her rules is you must have at least 4 trumps to double a part score. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. You must have at least 4 trumps to double a part score.
Okay.
So Kate's rules, and this is one of Kate's rules. You must have at least 4 trumps.
4 trumps to double a part score.
At least,
that's not a bad
you cannot
rule.
double with less than 4 trumps.
Yeah, indeed.
Any other stories from the World Championships that came up?
Okay, I'll tell you one story. Do you want to bring the hand up? I'll send you a link. I'll show you
I heard the women's semi-final came down to an appeal and turned around the result. to
That was
a
amazing.
3 VP win to a 1 VP loss.
There's always drama at the World
Yeah.
Championships. There's always rulings.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a
That was a tough ruling, I think.
There was, yeah. And the Polish declarer claimed that she didn't know which honor the opponents led from honor sequences, whether they led the top one or the second highest one, at the near the end of a long match that they played over 2 days. And to be fair, the convention card as filled out was pretty unclear. It said in 2 other spots what they did, and it didn't say next to the key thing that was relevant on this hand. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I sort of felt that the American pair that ended up getting ruled against and ended up losing their match,
Yeah.
I did feel like they'd filled in their convention card from the point of, we're American, everyone knows what we play normal, normal is American normal, maybe the rest of the world doesn't play the same way.
No, most of the world doesn't lead Jack from Queen Jack.
Correct. Yeah. In America, it's pretty standard to lead Jack from Queen Jack for experts, but what they played is they lead Jack from Queen Jack when they have 4 or more, and Queen from Queen Jack when they have 3 or less, and that's standard. That's American standard. And that if you played that anywhere in Australia, people would look at you with like confusion.
Nobody
I say
plays
this.
it.
I say this, and I'm playing it with an American next weekend, and we're playing this. So,
Good luck.
Hopefully, people don't. I have stuffed it up multiple times. I've led my queen, just being like, "Oh yeah, I've got Queen Jack 10-5, beautiful."
Well, leads, it's one of those things you get into an automatic habit, and you don't sort of think about it, and then you realise after the lead's on the table, oh damn, I've made the wrong lead here. This isn't what our agreement is it?
Yeah, for sure. It's you often have the situation where you know which suit you're going to lead, and then okay, I've worked out the suit I'm going to lead, so you just lead the card, and then well, we agreed to lead a different card from this holding, king from ace king or ace from ace king, for example.
Gary asked, how does language differences come into communications? So at the World Championships, you're meant to write down all your explanations on paper in English. That's what's meant to happen. There's definitely challenges, but for the most part, it's not too bad. You don't hear of major things, and often if you don't have a shared language, you give each other a bit of leeway. But
yeah, I hear the match between the Poles and the US was also a little bit, shall we say, acrimonious.
You've been talking to Laurie.
I have. I heard all the gossip.
I saw Laurie this is Laurie Kelso, for those of you who have tuned in. Well, one of the head directors in Australia, who's also one of the head directors in the World Bridge Federation. He was at the World Bridge Championships. Yes, that's right, Laura, Chief Tournament Director of this event too. He does everything. He's a Chief Tournament Director of many, many things.
Yes.
And I was having a chat to him about the match, and he says, yes, there was lots of drama early on, and you could say that the match finished the way it was played.
Finished the way it started. Yeah, that's right. Yes, indeed.
All right, let me see if I can find this cool hand I had against my former country.
Former country.
Yeah, it was Australia.
How are you surviving with the kids, Liam? Are they keeping you awake at night? Your young children?
No, they're sleeping through at the moment, which is fantastic. Yeah, but it's a blessing. All right, Pete, I've got a link for you. I don't know how to get it up on BBO though for you to play through. Well, maybe I can find the viewer link to this match.
Is the
It was an all Kiwi table, correct? It was an all Kiwi table. Yeah. So the cool thing about playing on tablets, because we were bidding on tablets, we were playing with cards and bidding with tablets, which is interesting thing.
Did you
But you can
find that,
see the
Liam?
option.
How did you find the dual thing with cards and tablets?
I thought it was excellent.
Yeah. So each player had one tablet. Is that how it worked?
Yeah, each player's got a tablet in front of them, which they use for the bidding.
Right.
And then once the bidding's over, you play the hand with cards as per usual. So calling it a dual thing, right? There's always going to be a dual thing. There'll always be a bidding pad or a bidding box or something. My view is that Bridge is a card game and that you should always play with cards if possible.
Yeah.
But the bidding, having equipment to do the bidding, it used to be verbal bidding, and then people, found written bidding, and then bidding pads, bidding boxes, and everything. And now we're bidding on tablets, and I think the tablets are just fantastic. And one of the really cool things about it is, if you scroll down the contracts here, you can see the auction at every single table, and that's just awesome. That's so cool. You can see what every other how every other player in the whole competition across all the categories bid the hand. It's just so cool.
5 spades doubled.
Yep, you can see how they got the 5 spades doubled, which and you can see how some of these pairs got the 6 clubs, and I am confident that we are the only pair that hit this auction.
3 spades, 4 diamonds, 4 no, 5 clubs, 6 clubs.
Okay, so 4 no was presumably.
So 3
It'll
spades
take you some
by
time to
West.
guess what 4 no means.
Okay, 3 spades by West. 4 diamonds, non-leaping Michaels. I've got a good hand with diamonds and hearts.
Yep.
Pass. 4 no, key card on diamond.
No.
Pick a Michael.
No.
I've got
What's 4
clubs.
no then?
It was an unspecified slam try in any suit. Yeah. And the idea is that partner bids 5 clubs, and then you can reveal what suit you had a slam try in. And basically 5 clubs is any minimum hand, and a partner has a bit extra. Obviously, I didn't have any extra. I barely had a 4 diamond bid to begin with. So I bid 5 clubs, any minimum, and James raised me to 6 clubs. So I was playing the hand from the 2 low clubs. Did anyone else play clubs from North?
I'm
5 clubs by North.
interested in your explanation of your North hand as being a goodish hand for bidding, coming into the bidding at the 4 level. I mean, looks like pretty ordinary to me.
Oh, I certainly did not think my hand was goodish. I thought it was quite a bad hand. But this was like a hand where our preparation really came in. And one of the training things that James and I did in the weeks and months leading up to the Bermuda Bowl was we did a lot of these 2-suited hands. And what we learned was that bidding, when you have 5-5 and it's a competitive auction, is that you just always bid. And really, you just don't need to worry about points. And as long as partner is aware of this and knows not to play you for a good hand necessarily, that you should just bid. So here, vulnerable against not, with 10 high card points, including a singleton jack in the opponent's suit, it was clear for me to bid 4 diamonds, and James knew not to get too carried away. I mean, of course, he was always going to bid a slam with his hand, but yeah. So
one other thing that I think is interesting here is West only has 6 spades, and they've got a 6-2-3-3. But how many tables do you reckon opened 3 spades?
I reckon a lot.
A lot.
So there's 2 spades, 2 spades. Ooh, 2 spades is winning so far.
Okay. Oh, we had a pass. That's interesting.
Green versus red, 2 spades. Very timid.
Yeah, the rest of the world doesn't bid as much as us, Kim.
No, I have heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I reckon maybe a third of the field bid 3 spades, and the rest bid 2. But this is really just favourable vulnerability is why it's even a consideration here.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you were vulnerable on this hand, you'd never consider opening 3 spades. Yeah.
Pretty ordinary suit and hand, really, isn't it?
Exactly. Balanced and defensive.
You look at
values.
the first seat option as well. that makes a difference, I would presume.
Yeah,
Which
for
seat
sure.
is, like, you're in first seat here and your partner knows first seat, not invulnerable, it could be just a pile of junk like this.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best things, well, one of the most important things about preempting style is that your partner knows what to expect. And you don't just have this really wide range of sometimes I have a pile of rubbish and sometimes I have an awesome hand. You've got to try and stick within a range so the partner has some idea of what to do opposite.
Yeah.
All right, Pete. So here's the view graph link. If you click on this, you can go to board 12 and I can show you how the play went because it was pretty funny what ended up happening. So what happened here was I got a heart lead. And in fact, I was playing.
This isn't your table. This isn't your table.
This isn't my table. No, we weren't on view graph, but this is a
So you got a
table that
heart lead
has.
from
So
east.
I was playing 6 clubs by north. I got the 10 of hearts lead from east.
Yeah.
After I'd shown diamonds and hearts, and that was very stinky because it looked like they might be leading a long suit to try to give their partner a rough.
Yeah.
There didn't seem many reasons for them to lead a heart or a diamond into my hand when they could have just led their partner's suit. So I won the heart, and I was suspicious that the hearts looked like they were 5-2. And I also thought the spades were probably 6-3 because West had opened 3 spades and East over 4 diamonds. East had thought about something. East had a little look, and I thought maybe they were thinking about bidding 4 spades, which seemed more likely if they had 3 of them or not. 3 of them compared to 2. So, look, in 6 clubs, you can just draw trumps and rely on the diamond finesse, and if that works, you make your contract. But I didn't really like to rely on the diamond finesse through the West player who had preempted into the other guy's hand. It seemed like a bad proposition. So I looked for something different. And the line I came up with in the end was I played the jack of diamonds from the dummy just to see if they would cover. And West, very good player, played low. So I won the ace. Played the jack of spades to the ace. I trumped a spade. And cashed the king of hearts to throw away dummy's diamond. And saw West play the queen, which I looked like their last heart. And now played the queen of diamonds to rough towards to the dummy. East played low and I roughed the dummy. I actually roughed with the 7 just in case West was out of diamonds, but the 9 of clubs was on side. And I saw the king fall. So now I've seen West follow suit, queen doubled on of hearts and king doubled on of diamonds. I played the last spade from the dummy and trumped it with the 6 and hoped that I didn't get over trumped because hoping that the spades are 6-3. If they were 7-2, I was just going to get over roughed and this was going to be bad. And now I can choose to rough either hearts or diamonds back to the dummy, but I was certain the hearts are 5-2. So I thought I'll rough a diamond. And I've got to rough a high. And West pitched. So I paused to think about what was going on. I know West has got 6 spades. I know they've got 2 diamonds and 2 hearts, and therefore they have 3 clubs. And they've got the queen of spades. And they've got the queen of hearts. And they've got the king of diamonds. So they don't have the ace of clubs. So I had to play the 3 of clubs from the dummy at this point, rather than the queen, jack, or 10. Because I played one of the big ones, East wins, and gives their partner a trump promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I played the 3 clubs off the dummy to the ace. And Wibbly, sitting East, said, 1 down. And I said, 1 down? He said, no, well done. I just misheard him.
Very nice. Well done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a cool,
nice
that was a
play.
cool hand. Just had to pause and count the hand out at the end.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, that was one of the cool hands of the tournament.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that whole thing about counting out the hand when you're partway through the play is just so critical. That, you know, the number of less experienced players that don't actually take the time to think about that and go down in contracts that are completely makeable because they just haven't stopped to think, hang on, you know, this person from the bidding looks like they've got this or that, and, you know, they get over roughed or whatever because they haven't really thought about the bidding and what's gone on.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. people playing their opponent for a hand which they can't have because it would give them 14 cards or 15 cards.
Yeah, indeed. Or they forget that their 13th card is actually a winner, and they rough it or something, and then go down because they could have pitched something from dummy and got rid of the last trump or whatever.
I especially like that on this one, you at the start of the hand, you would have never considered you were playing East for a singleton ace, given it's West who preempted 3 spades.
Yeah.
It's just at the end, it sort of falls together.
Yeah.
I must admit, when I roughed the diamond out and West turned up with the king doubled a diamond on the side, I thought, oh, this could get ugly.
Yeah, I should have taken the finesse.
I think there might have been an easier way to make this one. Like roughing with these 7s and 6s and hoping that no one overroughs.
Yeah.
All right.
Just taking the finesse.
On that note, we might call it there. So
call it a night. Thank you very much, boys, and thanks to everyone for tuning in.
Does Laura want to say anything? You might come invade me.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's been a very successful day and night by the sounds of things. So well done to everyone involved. It sounds like Laura's put in a huge amount of effort.
Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah, over 40 clubs involved. It's sort of a fantastic first event, and I hope we can do more of these. We'll be announcing the date for next year as part of the wrap-up, so look out for that. So everyone can get it into their calendars, and we look forward to everyone, supporting this again and keeping all the clubs updated and what's going on with the Bridge in Schools program that's kicked off.
Perfect.